Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Your broadcaster Tyler in the booth as always for another Just Two Idiots Oval Series race. Tonight's event will be held at Bristol. It will be a 200 lap race. Sorry, lost my train of thought there. It'll be a 200 lap race in the super late models. As always, I will be doing my best to make sure we get all of the action on the track. And after the race, we will have our usual top 3 interview. As qualifying rounds up here, just to give you a little feedback on the track, it does appear that the high line has been the majority of the driver's preferred lane. However, passing low has not been impossible for some of these drivers. So it'll be interesting to see how this race plays out, whether the bottom will be favorable or whether or not the top will be the preferred destination for the leader. Just to clarify, on the leaderboard, in that number 1 spot, NB Racing 10, that is still Beaver in that 10 car. There was a technical difficulty. His name somehow changed and reverted to the NB Racing 10. But here on tonight's broadcast, we will be referring to him as Beaver. So if you hear Beaver and you think, I don't see a Beaver on that list, well, that's why. As qualifying begins to wrap up here, it does look, as of this moment, that the pole will be going to Beaver. Does not appear we're going to have a faster lap. They will be gridding up here any moment, so let's go ahead and give you a quick grid rundown while we wait. As I just stated, starting on the pole for the third race in a row, including the preseason, will be Beaver in that 10 car. In second was last week's winner of the preseason race, G-Bay, in the 28 car. In the third spot is the first preseason race's winner, Orbit's Jupiter. In that fourth spot is Malgasm. It's a new face for me on the broadcast. In that fifth spot will be R. Tups in the 69 car. In the sixth spot will be Runeister in the 21 car. In the seventh spot in the 39 car will be Costello. In that eighth spot will be Jordan Beck in the 92. In ninth in the 31 car, it looks like. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, that is 31. Is Bob Nova. And in the 10th spot is Kelford Uranus in the 420 car. In the 11th spot, starting on the inside, is McMurk in the 27 car. In 12th is Jazz Cabbage in the 92 car, I believe that is. In 13th spot, in the 5 car, is Nicolator. In 14th spot, in the 72 car, is Racing. Let me go ahead and get his full name real quick. It looks like Colton Wayne Racing in the 72. In the 15th spot, in the 45, is AJ. In the 88, in the 16th spot, is Dale. In the 17th spot, in the 888, is Cannon Racer. In the 18th spot in the 86 car is Crazy Sheep. In the 19th spot in the 181 car is Blasting Tank, and in that 20th spot is Giroux in the 75 car. We have been given the 1-2 green signal.
Green flag, green flag.
The green flag is out as both lines take off at the same time, with the advantage going to the inside driver. That is Beaver in the 10, completing that pass on the 28 of G-Bay. Back on through the field here, we have Bob Nova
Caution, yellow flag.
trying to fend off the 27 of McMurk. We will get a caution. Let's see if we can find where that wreck happened. So I am not sure who that was. Give me just a brief second to find out which car that was. Sorry, they do look a little different from the next gen cars. So that looks like the 72 in that green Starbucks car is going to get a little loose, and the 88 tries to tuck his nose there, and unfortunately both cars do wreck. So from the 88's point of view, let's see if we can get a cockpit view on that. You'll see he's getting a little loose, and he tries to tuck his nose in, and unfortunately the gap just closes right away. So very unfortunate start to the 88's night. That is Dale. Let's go ahead and head back up to the race leader. I just want to check something right quick. For some reason, I do not have the TV3 camera available to me unless I open the iRacing screen up and do it manually. So you might have that happen from time to time tonight. I do apologize for any inconvenience it causes for the broadcast. We have gotten in, I believe, 6 of our laps so far, as we got the 1 lap to green signal here. Obviously, so early in the race, we will not be seeing anybody head down pit road this early. It does look like we could be having a single file restart here. The pace car will tuck down in, and Beaver will get that engine going right away as he leads them across the line and into 1 and 2. And down the backstretch they go. We have more collisions happening down here at the back of the pack as McMurk is hung on the outside right now, but is making it work. As I stated at the beginning of the broadcast, high or low seems to be a driver's preference as to where they're actually going to make their move, but it does look like that 5 car of Nicolator is going to challenge him and possibly take that spot. Yep, it definitely clears the 27 of McMurk as Kelford Uranus, I believe that is. Slid up the track and caught the wall. We have another caution. Let's see if we can diagnose where it went wrong. not too terribly sure what that is. The 39. That is the 39 of Costello. Let's go ahead and rewind that so we can get a better picture of what happened. He's running the high line. It's possible that he just breaks the car free all by his lonesome. Nope, hits the wall, comes down. No place for the 69 to go, and unfortunately he clips him, and into the inside wall Costello goes. We do have 12 laps of this 200 lap event completed. As the 39 comes down pit road, I would imagine he will be the only one to take that venture down pit road. Just a quick update, Dale is 4 laps down in that 88 machine, and I think it's Conway Racing in the 72 is 1 lap down. Costello will have a good chance of joining them both a lap down, as this feature is just warming up, and we have had just our second caution of the night. To everybody watching at home, when I do decide to bring a driver into the broadcast booth, do any of you have a question about anything that you would like me to ask all of the drivers as I bring them in? Go ahead and put that in the chat, and I will make sure I read it, and we'll get your question asked to the drivers. Not entirely sure why somebody has been put in front of Beaver. Perhaps one too many wave arounds. It's the 72 that's been put in front of him, so not too sure. There's the wave around. So he gets the wave around, and Beaver lines up on the inside with G-Bay to his outside and Orbit's Jupiter behind him. So a bunch of fast cars up here at the front tonight. Let's see if we can bring up that TTV3 real quick. The pace truck pulls down, the green flag flies, and it is an excellent start by G-Bay, but Beaver will have that inside line and will power his way to the front once again, as Orbit's Jupiter is getting challenged for the 3rd spot on the outside. That is Malgasm on back through the field here. We have plenty of action. There's some slight contact between the 888 of Cannon Racer. And I could not quite see who that was below him when the contact was made. But lots of short track racing happening right now. These boys are beating and banging, trying to make their way to the front. Looks like the 31 of Bob Nova is trying to take that 8th place away from the 69 of R. Tufts, but R. Tufts is not giving it up willingly. So unfortunately, Bob is going to fall back in line here.
The yellow flag is out.
As the yellow flag comes out again, we have numerous wrecks happening all over. Let's see if we can figure out and diagnose where that started. So this is the 29, the 26, possibly. Oh, too far, too far. So the 26 is going to rub the wall, but I'm not seeing anything major happening quite yet. It was not him. Perhaps it was the 39. Nope, that doesn't look like the right car either. The 92. That's who it was. So let's see what happened with the 92. Oh, and unfortunately the 21 hits the wall and the 92 is unable to get around him. And that's going to be a tough wreck for the 92 as he was having a solid run up to that point. Let's jump on back up to the front here and back up to live. Still your race leader and has led every lap of this event so far. It is the 10 of Beaver. And for those of you that are just tuning in, I did state at the beginning of the broadcast, the NB Racing, that is still Beaver. They had some technical difficulties with the name, and we are hoping that will get corrected for next week. But that is indeed still Beaver in that car. So 25 laps in, we will have to see if we have any takers down pit road. I would not imagine that we will this early in the race, but you never know. As we get the 1 lap to green signal, they will line them up 2 by 2 again. Beaver will lead them to the restart zone, where he will restart this race. We'll have to keep an eye on G-Bay and see if maybe he can get another good start here and perhaps challenge Beaver for the lead. As the green flag flies and Beaver is on the gas again. Super great start for him as the 98 is battling the 26 of Orbit's Jupiter for 3rd spot. It looks like Orbit's Jupiter may be able to put that car into the 3rd spot. He certainly does. As we have another caution. This is our 5th caution of the evening. And while we are under caution here, let's see if we can get a word from Beaver, our leader. Beaver, it's Tyler up in the booth. You got me?
Got you.
Hey, brother. We notice you're off to another dominating start to the race. Do you think it's too early to tell who the legitimate contenders of this race will be, or do you think you've got your hand on who will be challenging you for the lead at the end?
That is a tough one. I thought maybe based on qualifying times, I'd have a pretty comfortable, try to grow a comfortable gap, but Bay has proven to be very quick, and so he's keeping me on my toes. So I'm trying to manage the gap to him and try to keep the tires under me at the same time. So it's a little bit of a balancing act. I do think Orbits is pretty quick, and I've seen that Nicolator's coming through the field. So definitely a long race, long way to go. Try to stay in front of these guys, control the race a little bit.
Do you think that tires will be important at the end of the race?
I think so. I think that longish green flag round we had, I think I could feel the right front start to go a little bit. So as the race goes on, I think moving up a little bit, moving up a groove or two, might ease the tire wear. And we're allowed 5 sets of tires, so we might be putting a few sets on before the race is over.
All right, brother. Well, we wish you luck and thank you for your time. I'll go ahead and get you moved back down.
All right, thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to confirm, Beaver, you're in the Nick Squared chat, right?
That's correct, yes.
All right, just making sure. Well, there you have it, folks. He said it's a little too early to tell who's going to challenge him at the end, but looks like the G-Bay in that 28 is having some serious speed. Nicolator is moving right on up through the field as well. Just to touch on that car here a moment, that beautiful 5 car that looks very similar to the 10 car. So they are both going to be starting on the inside row. We'll have to pay closer attention to this and see if maybe Nicolator can get up there and challenge for the lead. The pace car will pull off. Beaver will put the gas to the floor, and the green flag will fly as they head into 1 and 2. And down the backstretch, we have lots of great racing all the way through the field here. The 31 of Bob Nova is pinched on the inside right now, and that outside line seems to be chugging quite along right here. So we'll have to see what happens, as he's going to lose a position to the 39, and he is getting immediately challenged by the 92, it looks like. No, the 86, I apologize. And now the 92 is on him, and by him, as McMurk is on that outside line as well. Now Bob has the opportunity to slide into that outside lane and start playing the blocking game a little bit. As we have a car over on its head right there. That looked like the 98? The 98. We'll have to go back and watch and see what happened here. In that 3rd spot was having a very solid run. Just comes up, hits the wall, and unfortunately rolls the car right onto the roof. And fortunately, it flips back over onto its wheels. So that is very fortunate for him. Also fortunate that he did not collect a single driver. Everybody managed to make it through without hitting him, so props to everybody that was behind him that avoided him. So we'll go ahead and switch that camera on back to the TV3. Just to give you guys at home a quick rundown of the current running order. We do still have Beaver, who has led every lap to this point in that 10 car in the first position. Still in second is G-Bay in the 28. In third in the 26 is Orbit's Jupiter, and Nicolator in the 5 all the way up to 4th place. So picked up a position on that last set of green flag laps. AJ in the 45 has come well up through the field from his starting spot to get into the 5th spot. And Costello, after that rough start, is in the 6th spot. So lots of movement through this field tonight. We do have a few takers that came down pit road, perhaps to get a fresh set of new tires. We'll have to pay attention and see if that maybe helps some people move on up through the field in this race. As tire wear does become an issue, you will see the outside line begin to be the favorable spot on the track, as without fresh tires it is very difficult to pass on that low side.
Green, green, green.
For those of you that are just tuning in, Nicolator has been the biggest mover up to that 4th spot. As we go green flag racing once again, Beaver will lead them into turn 1 and 2. And down the backstretch as G-Bay is going to sneak to the inside and try to make it work to pass him. But Beaver is just too fast on that high side. We also have Nicolator trying to peek underneath the 26 of Orbit's Jupiter at the same time. And you could throw a blanket over this top 4 as they are beginning to distance themselves. And that 5th place car is kind of hanging along in the picture, as you can see. That's Costello in the 39. On back through the field here, we do have some slight contact with Cannon Racer there, but he's going to save it, and all parties involved will go about their business. Very close call for the 888 of Cannon Racer. As these cars begin to fall into a single file formation. Jump back up to the front as the 6th place car is starting to reel in this front pack and start to stay with them a little better. You can see him just out of frame there. It will be interesting to see how patience plays a role in this race as the laps begin to tick by. We are through 52 of the 200 lap race at this point. So over a quarter of the race is done. On back to field, we have some slower cars beginning to battle it out here. You have to think that tires are beginning to play a huge role in these racers' ability to pass on that low side, like I was saying under caution.
Yellow flag is out.
As we jump back up to the front, we have another caution here. This is our 6th caution of the evening. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. Not seeing anything that would constitute a caution there. Interestingly enough, I'm still not seeing the caution. Let's fast forward it and see if... Oh, there it was. So it looks like the 27 of McMurk. Let's see if we can get a better picture of what happened here. Just hit the wall like so many before him, and unfortunately collects Cannon Racer and that 86. I believe that was the 86. We'll find which car that was here. It was the 36. I apologize. So again, that was our 6th caution of tonight's race. So several people down pit road, including the leader, as everybody's going to try and get a fresh set of tires here. It'll be interesting to see if anybody stays out in order to move up track position. Though I do fear the longer the green run is, the worse that strategy will play out for some of these drivers. For those of you that are watching, feel free to put a comment in the chat. We will certainly try to address it over the stream as the comments come in. I always enjoy having some viewer comments. Keeps the broadcast fresh and interesting. So it looks like Jordan Beck is currently the race leader in that 92 car. Now remember, he did have some struggles earlier in the race, getting caught up in a wreck. The 69 of R. Tufts also stayed out, and Bob Nova, Blazing Tank, Malgasm, and Kelford Uranus also all stayed out. So that puts Beaver all the way back to that 7th spot, and G-Bay back into the 8th spot. Perhaps that short pit strategy playing a part in why they decided to stay out. As Jordan Beck will put the hammer to the floor, and away we go. Let's see if we can get a better view here. It looks like the 98 is challenging to the inside for 4th place, as Beaver has already moved his way up into the 6th place. These cars are all over at the front, all running different lines, all trying to make moves. And Beaver is log jammed behind these guys, so unfortunately it's tough goings for him right now to make a move. But the 98 is flying around the outside right now, as Beaver is going to go ahead and tag along. Slight contact there, but Beaver's going to maintain and move into the 5th place, as we have another caution. Jordan Beck is maintaining the lead, but Beaver is coming up through the field in a hurry, up 2 positions since that restart. So keep an eye on Beaver in that 10 car and the progress that he makes up through the field. While we have a quick caution, let's go ahead and bring our current race leader on into the booth here. Jordan, Tyler up in the booth, you got me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, brother. So we saw that you stayed out, managed to pick up the lead. How does it feel to be running at the front of the pack for this first opening race?
Well, it's better to be at the front than anywhere else, but I'll tell you, Tups is right on my rear here, and he keeps poking in, so we'll see if he can make it stick on the inside there. And then I've got several people behind me with fresher tires, so we'll see how long I can stay up here.
All right, well, we wish you good luck in your effort to maintain the lead. I will go ahead and get you moved back down to your driver chat.
All right, man. Thanks for the stream.
Yep. Just to confirm, you're in Nick Squared, right?
I am in Team Space Sheep.
Space Sheep. All right, we'll get you moved down, brother.
Thank you.
Again, that was your race leader, Jordan Beck. And remember, he does not have the freshest tires on the track right now, so we'll have to pay close attention and see if that affects the race as we go on. Still plenty of time in this race to make moves up to the front of the field. 132 laps to go this time by. Nicolator has fallen back to that 9th spot after all of the pitting cycle had gone through. So we will have to pay close attention and see if that racer manages to make their way back up into the top 5. Currently, lots of fast drivers running outside the top 5 and lots of fast drivers running in the top 5. So we are in for quite a show from this top 10. Just to update the cars that are a lap down or more, in 16th we have Jazz Cabbage, 1 lap down. And in 18th, in 17th we have Dale, 3 laps down. McMurkin 18th, 4 laps down. And the Ruhmeister is on pit road, so we'll have to wait and see. As the green flag flies, Jordan Beck gets an amazing start, manages to put a car length between him and 2nd, as 3rd is being challenged by 4th, and 6th is being challenged by 7th. Beaver is currently in that 6th spot, trying to make his way to the front any way he can. He is challenging for that 5th place position, and looks like he is going to clear him off the corner. Still hanging true to that outside line is Beaver. The 31 of Bob Nova is desperately trying to hang on to that 3rd place position, but is under immense fire from the 39 of Costello. Although he is barely hanging on to that. Beaver is in a logjam right now, just praying that one of them can pass the other and open up a door for him. As we have a challenge for the lead. That is R. Tups sending it to the inside of your leader, Jordan Beck, who is desperately trying to battle back on the outside as we have 4 lanes of double file racing right now. And Beaver is trying to send his car to the 3rd position, although it looks like the caution is gonna keep him in 5th, unfortunately. Really close a race there at the front as R. Tups nearly clipped Jordan Beck, but everybody stayed straight and they managed to go down the backstretch with ease. For those of you that are just joining us, this is our 9th caution, I believe, of the evening. It is getting kind of hard to keep track of. Let's go ahead and see if we can talk to 2nd place driver R. Tups. Nope, unfortunately, it doesn't appear we're going to be able to get him in the booth. We have completed 79 of the 200 laps that are scheduled for tonight's event. Now 80 laps of the 200 lap event. So we are approaching the halfway point. And I don't believe that we have a clear-cut favorite to win the whole thing. Beaver has certainly managed to be the fastest for a majority of the night, but he is currently caught in traffic. Jordan has looked phenomenal on these restarts, but R. Tups does not let him get too far out in front before he runs him back down and starts to challenge for the lead. It will be interesting to see how it all plays out. We do have a couple of drivers on pit road. That is Dale in the 88 and Ruhmeister in the 21. McMurk is still a lap down in that 17th spot, so unlucky for him. As Jordan brings them around the corner, they will begin to line up 2 by 2. A quick rundown of the top 5. Jordan Beck in first, R. Tups in second, Costello in third, Beaver in fourth, and Orbits Jupiter in fifth. So Beaver is definitely making his way to the front here as the pace car pulls off, and Jordan gets another fabulous start. Beaver is starting to fall back as a car in front of him holds him up. Very unfortunate for him as he is trying to navigate this traffic without doing any damage to his car.
Caution, yellow flag.
And he's gonna lose quite a few positions on that restart. You would have thought starting on the outside might have given him an advantage there, but unfortunately, no such luck. Let's go ahead and take a look back at what happened there on the restart for him. Go back a little further here. It looked like the 36, or was that the 39? Nope. The 69 checked up going into the corner, and that caused Beaver to slow up and then hit the wall coming out, which caused them both to lose a lot of positions there. The 10 car of Beaver, though, would rather be patient than destroy his equipment this early in the race. I feel like we did just have a caution, not but 5 laps ago, so the cautions are coming fast and furious tonight. The chat is popping off here. Tyndall is a fan favorite, says Pepto Kumquat. Number 69. Let's go ahead and feature that number 69 car now. That is the pink and white car of R. Tubbs. As Pepto corrects me and says Tyndall. Sorry about that, Pepto. Still learning everybody's name. Odie says Paluto. Well, hello to you, Odie. I know that is you, Chris. Thank you for stopping in and supporting the stream. Just popping all over the field right now, trying to give everybody a chance to have their car on stream. Back up to the front we go. That camera. We want that camera. Sorry about that all. Again, if you're just joining us, there has been some technical difficulties with the camera selector, so I'm having to manually go in to switch to the view, unfortunately. As the pace truck pulls down, Jordan Beck will put the hammer down. And headed into turns 1 and 2, he did not nearly get as good of a jump that time as he did on the previous starts. And he's going to fall to second as a result. But the 39 of R. Tubbs is going to take over the lead. And Orbit's Jupiter is going to take over third as the 28 of G-Bay is around. It looked like slight contact with the 69 car. So let's go ahead and see if we can rewind that a little bit and see what just happened. So it looked like the 28 checked up a little bit and the 69 was not prepared for it. He was right on his bumper. And unfortunately for G-Bay, that's going to put him in a very large hole for him to climb out of. It doesn't look like that car has too much damage on it though, so perhaps he will stay out. Glad to see so many of you are enjoying tonight's race. We are 93 laps into this 200 lap main event. Pepto Kumquat says bumper to bumper. Absolutely bumper to bumper. Non-stop action, non-stop passing. It's been a pass fest and a half, which we love to watch. And I apologize, earlier I said it was R. Tups that went to the front. That was actually Costello in that 39 car that went to the front. So Costello passed Jordan Beck for the lead. That pushed Jordan Beck back to second. Orbit's Jupiter is still in that third spot. Beaver has found his way back up into the fourth spot. And R. Tups has unfortunately fallen to fifth after running second for about 15 to 20 laps there. So we'll have to keep an eye on this 10 car as he's trying to make his way up through the field once again. Just to give everybody a quick rundown of the cars that are currently a lap down or more, we do still have McMurkin in the 17th spot, looks like 3 laps down. And Dale in the 88 is 7 laps down. We have had our first car retire for the night, that's Roommeister in the 21. So unfortunately his night is over. We will get the 1 lap to green signal here as they will line them up 2 by 2 once more.
Green flag, green flag.
Ignore that green flag. That's not the actual green flag. The pace car has not pulled off yet. The pace car will pull down and Costello will get a fabulous restart there. Will pull 2 to 3 car lengths as the 26 of Orbit's Jupiter is going to slide into that second spot. Beaver's going to maintain that fourth spot, try to run these front 3 back down. As the yellow flag comes out again, let's see if we can find out what it is for this time. Perhaps it doesn't. Boy, that leaderboard is acting all sorts of buggy tonight, huh? As Beaver is slowly reeling in. Oh, nope, there's the caution. Let's see if we can figure out where that caution came from real fast. So it looked like G-Base slid up the track, got into the wall a little bit there. Not too sure why iRacing decided to throw a caution for that, though. There may have been something else that we missed. Nope, it appears that is exactly what the caution was thrown for. Oh, there it is. That was the 86, perhaps? No. The 98 that was involved in that. Let's go ahead and rewind it here. Now that we know what we're looking at. Go to this far chase here so we get a great picture. So the 45 gets loose off the corner and ends up collecting the 98. That is an unfortunate break for the 45 of AJ and that 98 car. The 98 car was looking like he was starting to make some moves up through the field, so have to keep an eye on him and see if he decides to use a fast repair to get back out onto the track. Let's jump on up to the front here. Get our TTV3 camera up. Wrong car. 39. So the 39 of Costello will have the 26 of Orbit's Jupiter to his outside. Beaver will once again start on that outside line in fourth. They will line them up 2 by 2 as we head down the backstretch here to get this race started once again. The pace car will pull off and Costello will put the hammer down as Beaver bumps that 26 car and gives him a shove. I'm assuming to signify, hey, I'm trying to come up through the field here in a hurry. The 10 of Beaver is going to tuck it below the 92 of Jordan Beck, but he's not going to be able to make it stick down low. He's working that backside of the 92 right now, just waiting for the precise moment to set his trap and strike.
Yellow flag.
As we have another caution. Just remember, fans, these are new cars that these guys are driving, so there's bound to be some cautions for the rest of the race, but hopefully as they get more seat time in them, the cautions will begin to dissipate. We will get more green flag racing. just to give everybody a quick rundown of the current grid order. So 39 of Costello is currently in first. He does have Orbit's Jupiter right behind him in second in the 26 car. In third, maintaining that third position, is Jordan Beck. But he is being challenged by Beaver in the 10 car in fourth place. Nicolator has found their way back into the top 5 again tonight. So just to keep an eye on a couple of those cars as they make their journey back up to the front. G-Bay has rebounded back up into that 11th spot. And Cannon Racer is into the top 10 for the first time tonight. So good for Mr. Cannon Racer in that 888. Let's go ahead and jump on back the field and see if we can feature a car. So I believe this car right here is the 181 of Blasting Tank. As you guys notice, he does not have a number on, so he's the only one currently not rocking a number. But we will certainly get that figured out for next week. Bound to be a few complications with these cars. As we go ahead and select our TTV camera again. Bouncing up through the field. Focus back in on our leader here, who, after passing Jordan Beck for the lead, has looked outstanding on these restarts. They will line them up 2 by 2 as we get the 1 to green flag. Pepto says work that backside. I'm assuming he was referring to the 10 working the backside of Jordan Beck. The pace car will pull in. Costello will put the hammer down again and jump out to an amazing start as Beaver's going to hang it to the outside and take that third position away from Jordan Beck on his climb back to the front. Orbit's Jupiter is giving a mirror full to the leader, Mike Costello, in that 39 car. This group of cars right here is providing some serious side-by-side action right now. Just take a moment to appreciate the skill they have to drive these cars that close to one another. Still side by side, 3 laps after the green flag has flown, so lots of action tonight. That 5 car of Nicolator has fallen back to the 6th spot, but has climbed back into the 5th spot after passing the 69. Or no, still in the 6th spot, but is now working on the 86 of Crazy Sheep. I apologize. Jordan Beck is under fire from Crazy Sheep right now in the 92 car. Back up at the front, Beaver is trying to tuck it low underneath Orbit's Jupiter, but Orbit's is giving it everything he has on that top side right now, and is just barely keeping his nose out in front of Beaver. And you have to wonder how much tire is Beaver using right now to try and get around the 26 of Orbit's Jupiters. We have another caution Let's go far chase here. Comes off, clips that wall, and over they go. These cars are extremely prone to flipping, as we had 4 or 5 flips there out of the 86. Crazy Sheep is having another rough night. It was looking up there for him for a little bit, but unfortunately clipping that wall is going to set his night back to 16th as of now. McMurk is digging with everything he has right now to try and unlap himself. We have not had another car retire yet. We do have 78 laps left in this main event. Let's go ahead and get our proper camera up. Looks like the 27 of McMurk is going to get a wave around. That should put him back on the lead lap. The chat seems to have died down a little bit. I hope you all are not falling asleep during this race. With only 76 laps to go, these boys are about to let them loose. It would be a shame to miss any of the action. Nicolator is up into that 4th spot, right beside teammate Beaver. So we'll have to see how that plays out for Beaver. If there will be any room given to him now that his teammate is on the outside of him.
Green flag.
Again, ignore that green flag. The green flag has not flown yet. Pepto says tight Beaver, meaning for him to get up nice and tight to the car in front of him. The pace car pulls in. Costello, with a tricky start that time, freezes the field a bit. Beaver's going to tuck it in low and try to make it stick as he continues to work on that 26 of Orbit's Jupiter. Neither one giving an inch right now. We have door-to-door racing on back through the field here. The 888 of Cannon Racer. And this group of cars is providing non-stop action as Beaver continues to work on that second place car of Orbit's Jupiter. It just seems like he just doesn't have enough to get by him on the bottom side. He is inching ever closer coming out of the corner, however, to completing this pass, as that corner didn't go exactly as he planned. And he's going to lose some ground, but he's going to still tuck it down low. Try to work on this car. And it's tough sledding down there at the bottom. There's just not a lot of drive up off the corner, which is where Beaver is getting killed. He's just losing so much ground. I mean, everything he gains going in on the bottom, he loses coming out. But he is still fighting hard to try and take that second place position. And it's going to be really close, but Beaver may have had his nose out in front right there when that caution came out. Yes, he indeed had his nose out in front there. So he's going to be in that second position. Let's go ahead and take a look back at where this caution started. It looks like the 181 may have been involved in it, but we will double check just to make sure. It actually looks like that all started with the 888 of Cannon Racer. So let's ride along here and see if we can figure out where it went wrong. So it actually started up at the front with the 5 of Nicolator, and they all stacked up behind him trying to get on the binders to slow those cars down. So tough break for Nicolator in that 5 car, was having a solid top 5 run up to that point and was pushing for more. Tough break for Nicolator. As the 10 of Beaver is going to go back to the lead here, cycle back to the lead. The 39 of Costello came down the pits. We'll have to see if they regret that decision later. Let's go ahead and get our TTV3 camera up. I would love to bring these guys into the booth right now, but unfortunately we're having some technical difficulties. I'm still trying to figure this camera out as to why it's not letting me switch between views with it. It's going to eat up a solid chunk of our caution time as we get the 1 to green here. They will line them up 2 by 2 for another restart. Pepto out here saying circle of life indeed, as Beaver cycled back to the front. The pace car will pull down into the pits, and Beaver will put the hammer down as he takes the lead into turns 1 and 2, jumps out to a 2-car lead over that 26 of Orbit's Jupiter. G-Bay has drove his car back up into the 3rd spot after his earlier caution. The 45 and the 181 make slight contact, which sends the 181 back to the 7th spot. The 92 of Jordan Beck has gone to work on this 45 car, throwing it low, throwing it high, just trying to figure out which way he can get around. The 39 is putting the car anywhere he wants, as we have 3 wide action off of the corner there. And they make slight contact, but nobody is worse for wear. This 39 car is so fast on these fresh tires, but unfortunately making your way to the front as contact again, and the 39 and the 5 all go around and collect multiple cars in there. We don't even need to see the replay on that, but we will certainly give you fans at home a chance to see it again. You can see the 39 is just lifting to keep it off of the 92. Collects the 5. The 5 gets pelted by the 86, who gets sent down into the inside wall. And it looked like the 36 was involved in that. He was involved in that as well. So several cars involved in the latest caution for us. I have lost count on how many that actually is. Probably close to 16 now. It seems like the only place that is a good place to restart on the inside is when you are on the pole. Other than that, it seems like cars are struggling to complete the pass down low. We'll have to monitor that and see if perhaps that changes later in the race. With 52 laps to go, we are approaching the final quarter of this race. We have had our second car retire for the night. That's the 888 of Cannon Racer. So tough luck for his beginning of the season. The chat has gone quiet again. Hopefully you all are still enjoying this broadcast. I know it's been a caution fest tonight, but thank you so very much for bearing with us. Pepto says, "Pulley, pulley, pull." Indeed, Pepto, the pole is definitely where you want to be. This time by, we should get the 1 lap to green signal. They will line them up 2 by 2 again. Let's go ahead and get our camera situated for this. The pace car will pull off. Beaver will put the hammer down. Not quite as good of a start as he had before, but good enough to put that car into the lead again as the 26 clips the wall and is going to lose a couple positions as a result of it. Nope, just one position as a result of it.
Caution, yellow flag.
We have another caution. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. So it was the 31 of Bob Nova is involved. And he just gets a run off the corner and is not expecting the 36 to be that tight on the straightaway. And unfortunately, his car is going to suffer the most of that damage. For those of you that continue to stick with us through this race, we appreciate your patience as these racers continue to try and figure out these cars. The good news is we have 155 laps in the book and only 45 to go. As this race intensifies, you have to think that the leaders will not come down pit road anytime in the future. If they don't pit now, I don't foresee a pit job happening the later this race goes on. We saw Beaver earlier in the race pit and find his way back from 7th, but it took him very close to 45-50 laps to do so. So anybody pitting is going to have their work cut out for them. We'll go ahead and make sure we're live this time. We did have a few cars that were involved in that last accident come down pit road and repair some damage. Bob Nova is up to 11th after that last caution for him, so rebounding very nicely. Nicolator is back up into the 10 spot, slowly rebounding there as well. They will line them up 2 by 2 again as we get the 1 lap to green signal. The pace car will tuck in. Beaver will put the hammer down one more time. And this time a much better restart for him than last time, as the top 4 settle in and go single file here. Just 40 laps remaining in this race. Things will start to amp up in intensity for this top 5. 5 of Nicolator is continuing to make moves and climb up through the field as we have contact, and that very well might bring out a caution. And if that doesn't, that certainly will. So let's go ahead and take a step back here. And see. I believe that was the 36 involved again. So the 36 gets loose, goes to the inside there. And was that the 181? Yes, it was. The 181 is going to have slight contact, no contact, going to get a loose, then come down and contact the 39 of Costello. So unfortunately for Costello, pitting and putting himself back into the pack there has proved to be a challenge for him to find his way back up to the front. As I was saying earlier, pitting right now is just not the play, because getting your way back up to the front, getting that track position back, those tires are just not good enough to drive it to the front with so few laps to work with. Pepto says you're crushing it. I appreciate the compliment, Pepto. Tuck it and strut it, he also says. For sure, it's gonna take a tuck to the inside to beat Rabbit, it looks like. Or Beaver, it looks like. Beaver has continued to dominate that outside line. I do not foresee him coming down pit road for tires at all as this race goes on. To all the new followers and viewers tonight, I definitely appreciate you tuning into tonight's action. Every viewer counts, and it's always great to see new faces in the chat. We have been given the 1 lap to green signal, so they will line them up 2 by 2 one more time. Quick rundown of the top 5. We have Beaver out in front in that first spot. G-Bay to his outside in that second spot. In the 26 in third is Orbit's Jupiter. To his outside is Conway Racing in the 72. Jordan Beck is in the top 5 there in the 92. The pace car will pull off,
Green flag.
and we will be back to green flag racing as Beaver jumps out to an early lead again. This top 4 will go single file one more time here
Yellow flag.
as we get another caution. I really appreciate the viewers staying tuned in to watch these last few remaining laps. It is greatly appreciated. I know that they have taken quite a long time to run these last few laps here, but unfortunately that is the nature of racing. having so many cautions. Pepto said, was born under caution. At this point, I'm beginning to feel like maybe I was too. Hopefully you all will stay tuned for just these last 30 laps, as they promise to be eventful. For those of you that are just tuning in, we do only have 28 laps remaining for this 200 lap event. We sure do hope we can get some long green flag racing in on this next restart, but we will have to wait and see. We also have had our third car retire for the night. That is Jazz Cabbage. Unfortunately for Jazz Cabbage, his night will end in that 17th spot. Our Tufts is 7 laps down after having a very solid middle of the race, running at the front for a period. Bob Nova has found himself all the way back to that 14th spot after running so well. The pace car will tuck in, and Beaver will put the hammer down. We chose to go with a single file start this time to hopefully get us some green flag racing in, as Nicolator is tucking under as we have another caution come out. So even having a single file restart is not helping. Very unfortunate for these viewers that we cannot get some green flag racing in. For those of you just tuning in, I am pretty sure that we have had 30 cautions in this race so far. I could be wrong on that. I might have to go back and actually count the cautions, but we do appreciate you all bearing with us as the kinks begin to get themselves worked out in this race. Just to give you a top 5 rundown real fast, we have Beaver in that 10 car out front, G-Bay in the 28 car in second, Orbit's Jupiter in the 26 in third. In fourth, we have Conway Racing, and in fifth, we have Jordan Beck, who is having a solid first race of the season. This time by, we will have the 1 lap to green signal. Just 20 laps remain in this race. Expect some high-flying passes to happen as these laps wind down. Back to the double file restart we go. The pace car will tuck down and Beaver will put the hammer down as he leads them into 1 and 2. Orbit's Jupiter is going to try to hang on to that third spot, and looks like he is, as slight contact with the 4th place car of Conway Racing. These top 4 are nose to tail right now. It is anybody's race, as unfortunately we can't complete a lap of green flag racing without having a caution. I suppose we shall get our leader into this chat and have a chat with him. Beaver, Tyler, up in the booth, you got me?
Got you.
Hey Beaver, it's been a caution fest tonight. Do you think being out front is gonna be enough to get you the win tonight?
Yeah, I think so. The restarts have worked in my favor. Bay's been pretty quick holding on. But I think with about 15 laps to go here, he might run out of time himself. I just got to keep it clean, and then try to keep him behind me. We're kind of concerned about fuel, though. I've been heavily fuel saving, so I think I'll make it to the end at this point.
All right, well, we wish you luck, and hopefully you can manage to pull out the win in tonight's race. You've been very dominant when out in front. We'll go ahead and get you moved back down to your chat.
All right, thank you so much.
Again, that was your leader, Beaver, on hopefully staying out in front. as we are officially getting the 13 to go as soon as they cross the checkered or the start finish line here again. Sorry, it is at 11:43 at night. They will line them up 2 by 2 again, and we will get another restart out of Beaver. Can Beaver hold on and take the checkered flag in tonight's caution-filled event, or will there be an outside shot for somebody to pass him in the closing laps? The pace car is in, and Beaver's hammer is down, headed into 1 and 2. The 26 of Orbit's Jupiter had an amazing corner right there, and is going to maintain that third spot as a result of it. As the 72 of Conway Racing goes and hits the outside wall, we have another caution. No need to even go back and check what that one is for. Conway got loose coming off the corner, hit the wall, and did what they've done all night when they hit the wall off that corner, which is flip. So, as we are under caution for the umpteenth thousandth time tonight, we do gratefully have only 10 laps to go in tonight's event, though I am not sure that they will have 10 laps of green flag racing, so expect another caution here in the closing laps. For those of you that are just now tuning in, or are returning to tuning in, we do currently only have 7 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line one more time. We will either have 6 to go next time by, and the restart, or it'll be 5 to go when they restart. We haven't gotten the 1 lap to green yet, so I suspect this race will restart with 5 to go. Does not appear that anybody is coming down pit road. Now remember, Beaver was light on fuel, he suspected, and was saving fuel, so these caution laps are going to help him to not have to pit, as I'm sure these drivers are hoping to make it green the rest of the way. Beaver is certainly hoping that he can keep it green the rest of the way and they can finish this race out. A caution might mean that he will not make it to the end on fuel. Beaver will bring them down the backstretch as we head into 3 and 4 and get ready for this J2ICS restart. The pace car is in.
Green, green, green.
Beaver's hammer is down as he will get another great start on G-Bay in that second spot. Orbit's Jupiter is going to maintain third and maybe try to challenge G-Bay for that second position as they get the 4 to go this time by, and we unfortunately have another caution. To the viewers at home, I do want to apologize. As I've stated a couple times throughout the broadcast, these are new cars for these guys. So unfortunately, cautions are to be expected. I know that a lot of you were hoping to get more green flag racing tonight. I would have to go back and do the math, but I suspect we've had almost as many caution laps as we have had green flag laps. So we will try to bear with the drivers as we get these last few laps underway. The good news is that this race should wrap up before midnight, as long as we can get these last few laps ran. Just to give you guys a quick rundown of the current top 10. We do have Beaver out front as usual. G-Bay in the 28 in second. Orbit's Jupiter in third. Mike Costello in fourth. In fifth, we have AJ in the 45 for the first time tonight. In sixth, we have Nicolator in the 5 car. In the 7th spot, we have Bob Nova in the 31. In 8th, we have Malgasm in the 98. In 9th, we have Mick Merck, who battled his way back from being 3 laps down earlier in the race. In 10th, we have Blasting Tank for the first time in the top 10 tonight. In 11th, 1 lap down, we have Kelford Uranus. In 12th, 2 laps down, we have Jordan Beck. In 13th spot, we have Crazy Sheep, 2 laps down. In 14th spot, we have Conway Racing in the 72, 3 laps down. And in 15th, we have Dale in the 88. We also have had R. Tups retire out of this race tonight. And that is our 4th car to retire from tonight's event. As they will get the 1 to green signal, and we'll line them up 2 by 2 one more time. The pace car will tuck in. Beaver's hammer will be down as he gets another great restart on G-Bay in the 28. 26 of Orbit's Jupiter also has a great restart and will maintain that third place position, but is currently under fire from the 39 car of Mike Costello. This time by will signify the end of the race, as we have Beaver winning the race, G-Bay in the 28 in second, and third we have Orbit's Jupiter. We will go ahead and get your top three in for a post-race interview. And we will go ahead and start that off with Orbit's Jupiter. Hey Orbits, it's Tyler in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, how's it going?
Not too bad, brother. So, caution-filled night tonight, but you managed to hang on and take that third place home. How does it feel?
Pretty good. I wasn't sure what to expect coming in. Bristol can always be kind of a coin flip where you could just get taken out by a lot of stuff that's not involving you, and managed to keep it clean all race. Luckily, finished with a 0x. Was hoping I could get by Bay there at the restart, but he was just a little too fast for me. Or had a little bit too much tires left.
Right, and your decision on not pitting, I'm guessing that has to do with the fact that new tires didn't seem to be able to work their way up through the field as quick as people would have liked. Is that correct?
Yeah, track position here is really important because the high line, once it gets going, you just can't do anything about it on the bottom side. So if somebody won't let you on top of them that's in front of you, you can't really get by.
Right. Well, congratulations on your third place victory, brother.
Thank you, man.
Have a good rest of your night.
You too.
Mr. G-Bay, Tyler in the booth, you got me?
I have you, sir.
All right, I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible for you, but this caution-filled race tonight, you managed to take second. How does it feel being up the runner-up to Beaver in this opening race?
It feels pretty normal. Beaver is a short track master, and especially here where it's really tough to pass, it's all about the restarts, and you're always going to be late if you're following whoever's restarting it just by a hair. So it's a lot of fun though. I mean, I wish we had some longer green flag runs, but all the restarts was a lot of fun too. I think there was some great racing all over the track there.
Well, we certainly appreciate your time, and congratulations on opening the season up with a second place finish. Nothing to scoff at there, brother.
No, it feels good, man. I'm looking forward to hopefully some more podiums this year, and a lot of fun, as always.
Well, we certainly appreciate your time tonight. I'll go ahead and get you moved back down, brother. Have a good rest of your night.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Beaver, Tyler up in the booth. You got me, brother?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we checked in with you earlier in the race, and you were pretty comfortable there at the end, and were pretty committed that you were going to win this race. Glad to see you didn't run out of fuel there. How does taking home the first race of the year victory feel for you?
It's pretty good. I think it's going to set a good precedent for the rest of the season. I hope I can carry this momentum. And Bristol's tough. I think, obviously, with all those cautions, it proved that the racing's tight. There's not a lot of room for error, especially in these super late models. They're so fast. But it's a lot of fun to use this car, and it was a lot of fun racing a lot of side-by-side. Just a good race. I mean, minus the cautions, of course, but when the racing was green, it was very fun, very tight.
Yeah, earlier in the race, we definitely had some longer green flag runs there. It seemed like drivers, the longer the race went, the more impatient they were becoming. And they were just pushing their cars a little too hard. It just began to pile up the cautions there at the end. But your restarts were on point, and I think that might have been the key to your success tonight.
Absolutely, yes. And it helps to control the restart like that. And yeah, like you said, people were getting impatient. I think some of that was also a mix of tire strategies. There were new tires and old tires. People making moves that they thought their tires may be capable of. But yeah, restarts were huge. It was towards the beginning of the race, Bay was doing a great job holding on the outside, and I had to drive it really deep into one, try to clear him, because I think if he would have stayed on the outside, that looked like the outside was the advantage. So I was just trying to clear him before getting into the corner.
Right, that's what it looked like up here in the booth as well. I mean, that outside line all night, it seemed like the inside was great for a restart if you could put your car in front of them. But if you couldn't, they would stack up and just run them down on the outside. All of that momentum they carried through the corner was just really difficult to combat all night. But congratulations on opening the season with a win, and we wish you the best of luck throughout this season, brother.
Thank you so much, and thank you for streaming. I always look forward to watching the stream back, and especially with your patience through all these cautions. We do appreciate you streaming this for us.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to stream you guys. I'll get you moved back down to your chat, and thanks for your time, brother.
All right, thank you. Take care.
So that was the Bristol race in the super late models for the Just Two Idiots Oval Series. And we appreciate the viewers bearing with us as this race did take a little longer than usual. And we hope you all can tune in next week, where perhaps Beaver will try to make it 2 in a row. This is Tyler signing off. Thank you all for tuning in.